What's up, guys? I just want to cover this real fast. This is a big part of my income. Even if you can't donate something to help, whatever, this is how I make my money. I basically, YouTube's a fairly good size of my income monthly. If you can't donate or you don't want to, that's fine. Feel free to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. But if I kept you from spending hundreds or $1,000 easy at a shop, consider me. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to make these videos. I love giving free information, but it also feels good to have my back scratched too. You know what I'm saying? So everything you need to know is in the link below. Also in the comment section, you'll find all my information in the pinned comments. And I hope I help you guys out. You can help me out. Let's get started. What is up? What is going on, guys? So I got a fun one here for you. This is very interesting. So you guys know I do the motorcycle stuff on this channel. Well, I had a company reach out to me and say they wanted to send me a navigation device for my motorcycle or car, and I was like, well, I have a motorcycle. They were like, we know, we watch your channel. I was like, cool. They said they wanted to send me this. So after looking this up, I really can't tell you what the direct name of this is, but I will label the company's name up here in the left, and I will say what I think the name of this is. They called it the Magic Box. However, if you go to the website on Amazon, you click on the link, it's the SK1. I don't know. I'm just going to say that this is a navigation device. That's what we're going to go with, because what's interesting about this is the Chinese company that sent this to me obviously tries to translate English, Chinese to English, and this is what you end up with: fatigue warning device. Now, I will say that this is IP65 rated, even though the box says IP67. It does have an ARM Cortex A7. It looks like 128 to 16, DDR3, CarPlay, Android Car Life. So this actually has a lot of good stuff. Front 1080p, rear. So what's neat about this is that you can actually connect a camera system to this, right? I believe the connections are on the bottom. I think there's a, yeah, okay, so there you go. There's the connection ports right there. You take those screws out, you can actually put an SD card in here and a whole bunch of other stuff when you do that. But what's interesting about this is, this says it has navigation and G-sensor and all that stuff. I have yet to be able to access that. I'm not sure how to do it without my phone being connected. So right now, my phone is actually in connected mode. Now I can turn this off, conserve battery, and I do have a plug-in over here, so I can actually plug in my phone and just leave it in this bay over here while it communicates with this. Now, what's interesting is you see my buddy Clinton just sent me a message. So I get, while I'm driving and it's connected to my Android Auto, I get all my messages. On top of that, I get all my Android apps on here too. Discord, Messenger, Maps, everything. I can even do Google searches. Watch. Magic Box. Maybe not right now. Let's try that again. Oh, I know why. I don't have my Bluetooth on, so it's not picking up the audio. That makes sense. Okay, so I actually don't have. Damn, Clinton's really. Let me mute Clinton for right now. So yeah, I forgot I don't have my headset in on my helmet. But anyways, you can see the basic functionality. You also get your YouTube music right here. If you are connected to, so I still have to sign in. Which I'm not on YouTube Music, but if you had it and you were paying for YouTube Music, you could definitely do that. And then on here, you could partition your screens to actually set this up for music and whatever you wanted these individual windows to be, which is very cool. And then down here, it tells you your battery life on your phone, what your current network is, the time, obviously, how many standby messages you have, and then you can answer those as you go, or you can clear them just like you would on your phone normally. So we'll pull that up, we'll hit clear. So it's pretty cool that you can do this while you're riding. And then if you click right here, it gives you the full, navigation as you're cruising, and it's doing all of that through your phone. It's very, very cool how this works. Now, they say that this works, the navigation works without auto connect. Now, I have yet to be able to figure that out, because on the back right here, definitely says GPS. So it does have its own system. I'm just unsure right now of how to get all that to work, and I've been playing with this for a while. So there's a couple different ways that you can connect this. you can connect up to this right here, which that wire I ran down here, and that goes, red wire goes to the accessory port and black wire goes to the battery. Or you can, I've just realized today that you can actually just connect the red and the black without having to go through the accessory, and this actually just has a power switch and other buttons on the side of it here for starting a recording, stopping. Let's see, I don't know what this is. Let's push this and see what happens. I don't know what that does. It doesn't, oh, it did something. I don't know what it did. Doesn't look like it works unless the cameras are set up. I think that's for switching in and out of cameras, front facing and rear facing. So if you actually had the camera set up on this for front and rear, I think that would switch in between cameras, and then you can start your recording here, stop. You have a home button and a power button. So obviously if I pushed home, it's gonna take me directly to the home port. Right now, I don't have CarPlay. Like I said, no CarPlay. I do have Android. This would be for iOS. And if I go on here, like I said, it really doesn't give me anything outside of that. I don't know if I can throw this menu or raise it. See, I was trying all this and I wasn't able to do any of it. So I'm not quite sure how to get this to work without, matter of fact, let's do this. We'll turn off, because it doesn't say it's active. Ooh, I don't want to do that. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's go home. So it should still say connected. Is this not connected anymore? It should be. Oh no, it's not connected anymore because I turned off auto. So if I go back, then it reconnects. Okay, so then it starts communicating again. So it's very interesting how this is set up. Like I said, but there's no other options menus outside of that. You can throw this aside, so there's your YouTube music. So if you're scrolling and whatever, you could choose your musics. And if you actually click on these, they should start playing. So that's playing through my phone, and if I had my Bluetooth connected to my phone, then I would be hearing that through the Bluetooth of my helmet. So just to give you an idea, it's going to play everything through your phone unless you have a Bluetooth device connected. So it's still really unique. It works really well. The downside to that is it is sucking off your phone's battery the entire time because it's auto-connected. Now, I would still rather have it that way than my phone being up here, potentially getting wet in the rain, blase squaze. This is rated for all of that stuff, whereas this is not. Plus, like I said, it's as easy as me just walking up to my bike, turning on my Bluetooth, and this thing automatically connects. So that's very cool. Everything all in one spot without having to touch my phone. Very, very simple. I would say overall, I'm not sure it's quite worth their asking price. It is good for what it is, but it says that it has a lot of features that it really, I don't think, does, unless you connect a lot of the other accessories to this. I would have loved to have seen the GPS work as standalone system without all of this other like this stuff, this G sensor, GPS track play. You know, it's like they just kind of put words on here: picture resolution, picture format, and then it tells you JPEG, picture resolution, you know, GPS playback. G sensor activity, high, medium, low. But see, I can't access any of this. Parking monitor, none of this seems to be on here, on this device. I don't know if it's just the firmware version of this or it's just whatever they installed as the custom firmware on here, but I don't care because I got it to work how I wanted it to, which was Android Auto. And so as an Android Auto user, this simplified my life. This thing's actually pretty good. I'm not sure it's worth $130. This is probably more like in the $60 range without all the other functionality actually kind of working out of the box, but it is good for what it is. So if you had Bluetooth in your helmet, or you just needed a navigation system that connected to your phone without having to actually have your phone out, this is definitely a huge plus. It's a very simple system to work. It's very easy to install. On my bike, unfortunately, because of the shape of the handlebars weren't round all the way here, the only round spots were here. I actually had to shave this all the way down. If you can see, this mount got a lot taken out of it. I had to put it on my grinder wheel and shave it so it would fit in between this little tiny section. You see how there's a space in there? That's pretty much what I had to do here to get that to fit in there. So I really took it took probably a good hour to get this shaved down, how far I needed it to completely shave all the little grippers that were there down to the same size and get all this on there. The installation of this was kind of crazy, but that's specifically to this bike. Most bikes have round handlebars, especially on cruisers and stuff. This is just a unique bike that has its real own set of handlebars, and I don't have the support bar that goes from here to here that I could have attached to. And I didn't want it there. I wanted it right here so it's out of the way of my instrument cluster, and I have it right here in my face. I don't have to look down at my phone or use my phone. That's it. So I'm not upset. I think it works well for what it is. I think it's a nice little device. The fact that I can play music and all that stuff through this while it's connected to my phone without ever having to touch my phone. Basically, I just get off the bike and walk away, right? If it doesn't detect the phone, it just goes into auto shutdown after a while. So if you're not actively kind of messing with it every now and then without it being connected to Android Auto, it will shut down. But you just hold your finger down on it and it'll power off. There you go. So I actually have it connected to a USB power bank right now that I actually have in here with all the rest of the wires. So my power bank is down in here, and it has a massive battery, and this is what I use to charge multiple devices at one time. When I get a chance, I will finish connecting this thing how it's meant to. Actually run down to the battery, but it's just a big job. I have to lift the entire tank, run it all the way down underneath the plastics, and get it all the way down to here. So it's just a huge job. So right now the power bank is working great. This is 20,000 mAh. This is an incredibly fast power bank, and it lasts all day with anything I have connected to it. So I can run multiple devices at the same time if I want to without being an issue at all. So, and if for whatever reason the power bank dies, it doesn't matter if I lose power to this, because I still will have a fully charged phone. So good to go. I think it's a neat little device. I really do. I think it's, for what it is, it's cool. I think it's a little overpriced if they're not sending you the cameras and the other stuff to attach to it to make the rest of the functionality work, like the G sensor and all that kind of stuff, crash detection mode, loop recording. I mean, all this stuff is not accessible unless you buy the attachments that go with it. So that's kind of depressing. But other than that, it works great as a navigation system through, you know, Android Auto. I would say it's a very, very, very simple system to use. It's not complicated. If you know how to use your maps on here already, it's the same principle on here. Click navigation, put in your address, hit go, you're on your way. Oh, you want to listen to music? Throw the window over, start play. Throw it back over, back to navigation. Boom. You know what I'm saying? It's just a very, very nice, simple, easy system to use. So as soon as you turn your Bluetooth on your helmet, you know it's going to automatically connect to your phone. It's ready to roll. And as soon as you turn on the Bluetooth to your phone, once again, like I said, it's going to automatically connect to the device the moment you power it on. Android Connect is ready to go. On your way. Super, super simple system. So, but my honest opinion, without sending you the other accessories, I'm not sure it's quite worth the price point. I'm just being honest. They asked me to review it. I did. I've been riding with it now for 3 or 4 days. I love the thing. It's great for my needs. I think it's a little overpriced without supplying the rest of the stuff, but outside of that, it's definitely a good device. If this is just what you're looking for, hey, it's 130 bucks. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? It's better than a Garmin. It still gives you full functionality of your phone on the fly, and it's all in one spot in your face, perfectly ready to go without having your phone in danger mode zone of flying off your handlebars or whatever. I mean, this thing's locked into place. It's not going anywhere. That is very much on there. So it's a nice little setup. It's very easy. So, all right, guys. Purchase link down below. If you guys have any further questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to go over that. But as far as the fatigue warning device, it's good. It's good for what it is. So I'll catch you guys later.